appearance, changing text appearance, and using the upper function, the lower function. So we say select upper first underscore name concatenated with lower right? Yeah, what we're doing is that, are you following me? Sorry, I didn't close my brackets. All right. So if you look at what we have here, what we have done is that we converted the first name. Of course, concatenation is to concatenate everything that is inside these brackets together, right? Concatenate, there is the first name, concatenate with space, concatenate with last name. But if you look at it, we begin to manipulate the what? We manipulated the first name with the upper function such that what they came out in uppercase and the last name comes out what in lowercase. Are you following me? Right. That's basically what we have in that scenario. So we're able to what to manipulate data and what you can see the result, right? The first name, John, in capital letter, and the chain, which is the last name, in small letter, right? Can you see? Can you see that? Right? Can you see that? So that is how to manipulate characters. You can manipulate characters in that what in that manner. You can manipulate characters in that manner. Are you following? Right? You can manipulate characters in that manner. Right. So the next thing we want to look at, I hope we understand that. The next thing we want to look at is how to use arithmetic operators. Using arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, and modulo. Right? Want to look at how to use these three or these five arithmetic operators, right, in your select what in the select statement. Are you following me? Right. So take for example, I want to know to generate the annual salary tax deduction tax deduction and annual salary with commission for all employees. Right? So we want to know the annual salary, the tax deduction, and let's say tax deduction is 0.3%. That's 30%. Tax is 30%, right? And the annual salary with commission, right, for all employees, right? So want to do that. Want to say select first employee ID, right? We'll do that as identity using an alias there. I hope you're following me. Please let me know if you're following me, right? First name, that's our name. Okay, let's concatenate it. Okay. Cat first underscore name. It's last underscore name. Salary. Right? Annual salary will be salary multiplied by 12, right? That's the annual salary as what? Annual salary. Then you say annual salary multiplied by 30%. So it's the salary minus salary multiplied by 0.3. That's the tax. Right? As let me bring that down. As tax deduction and salary plus salary. Salary coming, I'm trying to evaluate salary with commission. Salary plus salary multiplied by commission percentage. I'll explain it, don't worry. Multiply by 12, right? So salary, evaluate commission percentage first, right? Add that to salary. Then everything multiplied by 12 as salary with commission, right? From employees. Right. So I hope everybody can see what I wrote. Right. So here we declared an identity for the employee ID. That's an alias, right? Here we concatenated the first name with the last name. Let's call that name. Let's just go straight with name, right? Concatenated the first name with the last name with space. Concatenated first name with space with the last name. Then here we brought out the salary. Now we started with what? Mathematical. Huh?
Won't you have to put the name in quotation marks?
No, it does. It does not matter as long as I'm not using. If I can name my alias immediately after without quotation.
Okay.
All right. So salary multiplied by 12 as the annual salary, right? Can you see the multiplication sign? So that's the mathematical expression, right? Then here I'm also what's deducting the what's it called now? The salary. I'm multiplying the salary multiplied by what's tax. That is tax is 30% of the salary. Whatever that gives us, we subtract it from the salary to be able to get what tax the person will be paying, right? And then we have salary plus. Now for salary, or for the commission salary with commission, right? So we have salary multiplied by. Okay, let me do this. Let me remove this, right? Let's just have what the person will be paying as tax. Right, good. As tax deduction, right? Then here we now have salary plus salary multiplied by commission, right? That will give us the commission, salary and commission for each month. Right, so this will give us the commission on the salary. Then we add it to salary. Then we multiply that by 12. So this basically tells us, this expression here tells us how much the person earns at the end of each month. Now we now add to multiply that by 12, right? Then it gives us what the person would earn at the end of each year, right? So if we run this now, what do we have? Right? Now, I want you to pay attention to the result. Let me just zoom that up a little bit. Right, pay attention to the result. Of course, the identity, that's the employee ID, their names in full names, right? The salary. Now look at the annual salary. Annual salary, salary multiplied by 12. Let's go back to it so that you can follow through, right? Salary multiplied by 12. So for this person, it came out to be $288,000, right? But this person is paying, right, every month. This person is paying $7,200 as tax. And because this person does not, now if you look at it, this part, it says no, right? Why did it say no? Right, let me show you why it said no. So I'm going to bring out commission percentage, or the commission column, right? It's called commission percentage as, let me just call it that, commission. All right, so we run that statement again. We just introduced one more variable. What happened? Commission.
Comma.
Yes. Commission underscore PCT. All right, let's run this. All right, good, right? So if you look at it, right? So for tax, we have that. Then commission, you see that this person does not earn a commission. Hence, the reason why his salary multiplied by commission did not give us any value, because commission is empty. And anytime you use a null value in an arithmetic expression, I'm going to put that here, right? Null value or null values in an arithmetic operation usually returns null, right? It's like saying you're multiplying something with nothing, right? You will get nothing, right? So null values in an arithmetic operation or expression will return a null value. Right? Will return a null value. And that's what you have in this situation. So you see all these people, right, that do not earn commission. Can you see that we don't have a result for their salary with commission? But let's go down a little bit. Let's see if, right, can you see now? right? Then here we now began to see people who earn commissions. Of course, see that the people who earn commissions are probably in the sales department, in the sales department and all that, marketing department and all that, right? You can see now that they have what commissions, right? You can see now that they have commissions. So basically, their commission, because they have commissions, their salary with commission also what? Also returned what? Returned a value. The salary with commission as well returned what? Value. So that is how we express mathematical evaluation. That's how we express mathematical equations or arithmetic equations or using arithmetic operators in your SQL statement and having to also work with null value in that situation, right? Having to also work with null values in that situation, right? You can also work with null values in this manner, right? So say, let me show you another way to work with null values, right? It says, let's say, generate a report of all those whose commission is null. That is, or generate a report of those who do not earn a receive a commission. Generate a report of those who do not receive commission, right? So what do? We say select, I'm going to just straight up select all from employees. Right now, I've told you that you have to always break down your business cases to action points or logic statement that you can express. So if you look at it, it says generate a report of all those who do not receive commission. So basically, we're working with the commission column here, and it says do not, right? So this is the main word here, do not. So how do you express these do not receive commission, right? So basically, we can say where commission underscore PCT, right, is null. Right? Can you see? Remember that I told you that SQL basically is like speaking English, right? So we're just shooting into that statement where commission PCT is null, right? Let's see. So if you look at the commission percentage column of this result, right, you see that it is just people who do not receive commission percentage. So, but we have about 72 people in the company who do not receive what commission percentage, right? So who do not receive commission percentage, right? If we want to know the inverse of that now, what do we do, right? If I want to know those who receive commission percentage, right? The business case is changing now. Let me just copy everything, copy, paste, right? Generate a report of those who receive commission percentage, right? So say same statement, but except that in this situation, I'm going to say where commission percentage is not null, right? So I want you to pay attention to those two things. Is null is meaning that what they don't receive commission percent. I mean, they receive, they have a null value in that particular column, right? And is not null means that they have values, actual values in that column. So if we run this now, right, that will be the balance of 72, right, which is 35. So basically, what that means is that we have 35 people in the company who receive what commission percentage, or who receives a commission, Can you see the result? Right. So it's as simple as that. I hope you are following. Please let me know if you are following. Let me know if you are following. Just raise your hand if you understood all that I explained. Please just raise your hand. Waiting for others. If you understood all that I've explained, Please just raise your hand. Udwak, are you there?
Sir, to like know how many people had the commission margin, whatever, can't we use length to find the length? Because imagine our data set is like 1,000 people. We have to scroll to the end.
Length does not work with okay, length basically is a character manipulation function. It only helps us count the number of characters in a particular data, right? Length cannot help us do that. Count is what can do that for us, right? If I say, look at it, if you want to know the number, look at it. If you want to know the number of people, right, I'm going to say count all. Right? If I execute this now, can you see it will tell me 35 of them. Do you understand now? Right? So count is the same thing, right? Don't now. Good. It's good that you mentioned this, right? Right. One thing I want you to understand, right? For those who have been in my classes, not just here, everywhere, right? I've always said that the same formula. If you look at it now, basically what you're evaluating here is sort of statistics, or is a statistical operation that we just did here, right? And I've told you that the way programming is, or the way technology is that they all relate with each other, right? As you proceed along technologies, right? So if you look at what am I saying in essence, count is how we count the number of rows in Excel. It's the same way we count it in SQL. If you get to Power BI, it's the same way. If you get to Oracle database, it's the same way. If you get to SPSS, probably the same way. I'm not very familiar with SPSS, but I'm sure that it'll probably be the same way, because count is the same thing everywhere. Null is the same thing everywhere. Are you following me? Greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. Length in Excel is only an abbreviation of the first three letters, LEN, right? It's the same length that we did here that also works there. So you see that the functions, right, they are cascaded across technologies, right? They are almost the same across technology, because mathematics is the same across technologies. Statistics is the same across technologies. Even functions, right? Even the functions and procedures, right, that you have in all of these technologies are usually the same. So when you try to remember how to do something in SQL and you don't get it right, remember how you do it in Excel, right? And it would point you in the direction sort of how you can get it done in either whatever other technologies you're using. Remember, as a data analyst, your basic object, your basic body of knowledge is statistics, right? And of course, mathematics and statistics. The statistics generally, but of course, with the help of mathematics, right? But what you see is that we now begin to use these tools, your Excel, your Power BI, your SQL, and the likes, right? R programming, Python, right? You begin to use these tools to interpret statistics, or to apply statistics on your data set, right? So if you look at it, count is still the same thing when we get to our programming and all of that, right? So you just have to be able to understand what these functions does and be able to look for either how it works, of course, or the equivalent in whatever technology or tools you're using, right? I hope you understand that now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, let's move to the next thing. Let's move to the next thing. Today we're going to be moving fast, 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 fast. So we've talked about, all right. Also, I want to show you another thing that is very important, right? Now, if you look at it, even though some of these statements, they return 35 rows, 107 rows, 32 rows, and all that, right? But most of the time, you might not even need all the rows to be returned, right? In some situations, you need all the rows to be returned. In some situations, you don't need all the rows to be returned, right? So how do you place a limit on what is returned? How do you place a limit on what is returned, right? Limiting rows returned by a query. Now, remember, limiting that I'm talking about here is not restriction or selection, right? Let me copy this. Let me copy this so that you understand what I'm saying, right? So if you run this statement, if I run this statement here, let's run this statement again. This statement probably generated about 35 rows, right? 35 rows. But all I just want to know is maybe I just want to see the first 3 rows or the first 5 rows, right? Depending, right? The situation might be. I just wanted to know if the statement runs, right? So I don't need all the statements, all the rows returned. So what do? You introduce what we call the limits. Now, limit is the last clause for every query, right? When you're using limits, make sure it comes last, right? Because this list of clauses will continue to grow. Are you following me? This list of clauses we have talked about select, we've talked about from, we've talked about where, we'll talk about order by, group by, and so on and so forth, right? And or not and all of that. We'll still add to this list. But in all of that, limit should be the last, right? Can you see? It should always come last. So I can limit these results to what? To 5, right? So if I say limit to 5 and I run this, what happens? It only returns 5 rows. Can you see? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see? It only returns 5. Right? You also see, can you see my cursor? You also see the limit function somewhere here. Can you see it? Right? See, limit to. So if you take, for example, say you have a large database, right? And your queries are going to be returning large amount of rows, right? You can say, okay, instead of returning all the rows, you can easily just limit my rows to 50 or limit my rows to 10. That is, if you do not want to write your limits this way, you can easily apply this and it will apply to all of your, this one will apply to your SQL statements. I follow me. If you set it here, it will apply to all of the SQL statements. But if you want to be particular about a particular SQL statement, you can just use limit and the values or the number of rows you want returned, right? Limit and the number of rows you want returned, right? I hope we'll get that. I hope we get that. Please let me know. Let me know if you understood that. Right? Please let me know if you understood that.
So sorry, I want to ask, the limit, is it limiting the result to just the first 5 answers, first 5 rows?
Yes, it limits the result to the first 5 rows returned. Can you see now? 145, 146, 147, 148, 149. And if you continue, if you remove this, let me run this now so that you see. Run that without limits, right? You see that it's the same way, but it just returns the first 5 rows for you. If you want it to return the first 10 rows, it does that as well. Look at it now. Look at this. Look at what I executed. Look at it. It only returned 10 rows because my limit here is what? Is 10. I did not select the last one. I only select all from employees where commission percentage is not what? Is not null. This statement is supposed to return, in the actual sense, is supposed to return 35 rows. But because my limit here is what? Is to 10 rows. Can you see? You only return 10 rows. Right? If I select everything now, including the limit function here now, that overrides that and it just returns just 5 rows. Can you see? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Please let me know if you understood that. I need responses from us. you go.
Yes, I
Alaja, talk to me.
understood.
Alaja, you came late. What do you say?
I said I understood it.
All right. All right. All right. So we can proceed. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're marking off stuffs gradually. Right. So the next thing we want to talk about is distance, using the distance keyword. The distance clause. Right. So let's assume that you want to, let me see. Let me remove limit here. Okay, good. Right. So let us say select all from employees. Right. Select all from employees. If we run this, pay attention to the job ID column. Right. Pay attention to the job ID column. Right. You'll see that in the job ID column, we have job IDs. Can you see the job IDs? They are duplicated, right? We have duplicated job IDs, right? We have duplicates. That column has duplicate values. We also have duplicate values in the manager column, right? We also have duplicate values in the department ID column, right? So let us write statements about what? About those duplications, right? So if I want to know, right, say generates a report of the distance job IDs from the company. Want to know what are the distinct job IDs company. Now, when we say distinct job ID, you just want to know how many job roles do we even have, right? How many, just basically what this means. How many job roles do we have? Not how many departments. You know that in a department, you can have different job roles in a single department, right? So we want to know how many job roles do we have, right? So we can say, right, to do that, you want to say, select distance, right? Distance job ID, job underscore ID, employees, right? So this will tell us the total number of distinct job IDs that we have, 19 of them, right? So the 107 people in this company on this database, right, share amongst them 19 unique job roles, 19 unique job roles. Can you see? Right? I knew that is 19 from here, right? So if I want to count distance, if I want to count, I'll probably say count. If I want to know the number of that, I say count. Count distance. Right? If I say count distance, what do I have? Can you see? 19, right? So we can give that an alias and say that number of unique job roles, right? Number of unique job roles, 19, right? So in this kind of results, right? If we get this kind of results, we can now use this kind of results in Power BI to do. We can use a card, we'll call it card visualization to visualize this kind of things, right? We'll talk about all of this when we get to Power BI, right? But basically, what you have there here just tells us how many distinct job IDs we have in the company. So if you want to now know the distinct job ID, right? You want to know the distinct job IDs now. What do? Just remove the count. and it will display all of the job IDs, unique job IDs to you, right? Display all of them to you. Exactly, right? So another business case will be that want to know, generate a report of the distinct managers. Who are the managers? Right? Generate a report of what? Of managers in the company, right? Managers in the company. Now you know that we can also select all from employees where we can also select managers from employees. Let's look at it. We can say if we say select manager underscore ID from employees to answer that question, right? What you would see is that you see duplications in the values, right? You can see all of these guys are managers, right? 100 is managers to about maybe 5, 7, 10 people, right? And all that. So, but we want to see the distinct managers. So we use the distinct. So distinct helps you what? Isolate, right? The distinct values in the particular quote statement, right? So distinct manager, right? So tells us what they are 19. Of course, it's going to match for each what for each job roles, right? So there are 19 managers, 19 managers in the system, 19 of them, 19 of them. Are you following me? Right? 19 of them, right? That's basically that. So you also want to know what are the distinct departments that people are in. Generate a report of departments with staffs, department with staffs in the company, right? Now, why did I say this? Look at it. If I say select, of course, I can get this information from the department table. Select all from department table, right? What do you have? Tells us how many departments we have in the company, right? So this is saying that we have 27 departments in the company. But if you look at it, there are some of the department that does not have managers. Can you see? Treasury, corporate tax, control and credit, stakeholders and shareholder services, benefits, blah, 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 and all that. They do not have manager ID. What does that mean? It means that they probably do not have people in that department yet. Their departments created, but do not have what employees there, right? So how do we know? We want to know which department have people in them, right? So we can generate that information basically from the employees table, because that's where the staffs and their department actually merge, right? So we say select distinct, right? Distinct select distinct department underscore ID from employees. Right, so it tells me that we have only out of the 27 departments, we have only 12 departments that has what that has people or that has staffs inside of them. So it means that we have 15 departments that are without what without staffs at the moment, right? Now, one thing I also want to pay attention to is that if you look at where how I use the distinct here, right? I use the distinct and I did not put the and I named the department, I mean, or the column immediately after it. And here I used what distinct and the department or the column in brackets, right? You can use it in those two ways. You can use it in those two ways. All right. If you understood that concept, please just give me a show of hands before I move on, right? Before I move on. If you understood that concept, just give me a show of hands before we move on. Only one person, true, okay. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Please, sir, can we see
keep
your
it coming.
Can we see your sir? Thank you.
All right. So the next clause we want to talk about is called the order by clause. The order by clause basically is a clause that helps us order our data. It helps us order data, right? It helps us order data. Order by is used to order query results in either sending or sending order. The default order by is ascending. If you look at your results most of the time, they are arranged in an ascending order. That's the default what? The default method of ascending. So we use order by to order data in the query results in either ascending or descending order. And the default what? The default case is in ascending order, right? But we can specify descending as well, right? So let's start from the statement from here, right? So if I say select distinct department ID from employees, right? If I run this statement, let's run it again. Of course, the query is what you see here. You see that you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and 110, right? That is the distinct result. Of course, if you look at it, there are 110 is 11, but there is a particular department here that is what, number 1, right? It means that we have a department called no, right? That's the department of the CEO. That's why you have 12 rows returned, right? So that person, there's an empty department that probably the manager or the owner of the company belongs to, right? That person does not have a department. So it could be a department of the CEO, right? Or whatever, right? But it's part of the data, right? So what we want to know now, so you see that the result is arranged in an ascending order. But if I remove that and I say order by, right? Order by, and I say descending. Descending is DESC. DESC. If I say descending, order by department, you have to specify the column, department underscore ID, descending. Yes, thank you. Right. If I run this now, what do you see? Descending from 110 to no value. Are you following? From 110 goes back towards to that no value. Right. That is how to order. Right. So you can use the order by to specify the department or the column you want to order by and the format in which you want to order by. Let me see a report here that we can also order.
Sorry, sir. That DESC can also be described, right?
Yes, it is also described. Thank you. It is also described. Okay. Let's run this statement that we have here. Right. So I can say order by tax deduction. All right. So what do you see? What do you notice? Right? If you look at it, this statement, I'm using this column here to order, right? I'm ordering this result here by this column, right? And that column is a pseudo column, which is all now. What I mentioned it last part, but let me mention it again. When you generate a column based on an expression, they are pseudo columns, right? If you look at it, all these columns, the only real columns here is the employee ID and the employee ID and the salary column are the only real columns there. Every other column, name, annual salary, tax deduction. Okay, commission is also a real column, and the salary with commission are pseudo columns. Basically, these columns are generated based on what? They're based on expressions used on columns, right? So if you look at it, I'm using this pseudo column, right? It's a first column. That's what the pseudo column is. First column. I'm using this pseudo column to order my data. But if you look at it, I'm not even ordering by the name of the column, right? It's the actual name of it, right? Which is the expression salary multiplied by 0.3. I'm using the alias. So basically, you can use a column alias in your order by. You can use a column alias in your order by. So you see that the person paying the highest number of tax, highest amount of tax is 720, right? To the person paying the lowest as what? 630. Are you following? Right? So you can use your column alias in what's called. You can use your column alias in your order by. Right? Let me write a business case. All right, so look at it. It says generate a report of all departments in ascending order, but sort the job description in order of highest what? Of highest to lowest hierarchy. Right? So basically, what does this mean? It means that I want to generate a report of all the departments. Departments should be sorted in an ascending order, right? But inside each of the departments, I want to sort their job ID in descending order. Let me write the statement and I'll explain it to you, right? So let's say select employee ID, last name, salary, department underscore ID, job underscore ID from employees order by department underscore ID ascending. That's ascending. ASC is ascending, comma, job underscore ID ascending. right? So I will explain it, don't worry. All right, good. All right, good. All right, so I want you to pay attention to the statement and then to the solution. So let's look at the business case again, right? I hope everybody is following me, right? So to generate the report of departments, of all departments in ascending order, but sort the job ID, that is the job description, in order of highest what to lowest what hierarchy, right? So you're saying that all the data, all the employees sort them by what? By their departments, right? Department 10, department 20, department 30, arrange the result or in part of what? As what? Arrange the result in an ascending order using the department ID. But inside each department, right, I want to see a result of the top guy to the least person there, right? Look at the result, right? That is this is called custom sort in Excel, right? You do a custom sort. You can sort your data with multiple columns, right? Using multiple levels, right? That's the same thing we're doing here, right? So I want you to pay attention to what is it called now? To department 30, right? Pay attention to department 30. If you look at it, of course, the manager, this is purchasing manager, right? Yeah, right. This is purchasing manager. You see that the manager came before the clerks, right? The managers came before the clerk. Look at department 50, right? The stock managers came before what? The stock clerk, right? Can you see? In each of the departments, right? Look at it. Stock clerk, department 50. Let's go to another department that has that IT department doesn't have that. Let's see. Right. So you can see, look at it, department 100, manager, financial manager is ahead of what? Of the accountants, right? Can you see? Right. And look at it, account manager is ahead of the accountant. So basically, right, you have the column, the department ID column sorted from 10 to what? From, of course, from null. Now, anytime you also, let me point this out, anytime you have null in your value or as part of the data in a column, right, it will come first. The null values come first, right? Either in ascending order, in descending order, they come last, right? But in ascending order, the null values come first. So in this column, we have a null value. That's why it is appearing first, right? Then followed by 10, then to what? To 110, which is the last department, 110, right? But in each of the departments, right, you now have a descending order arrangement or descending order sorting, right? So this is how to do a custom sort in SQL. Please, let me say a show of hands if you understood what I want. Okay, I think I have two people raising up their hand. Talk to me. Alaja and Ebuka. Alaja, talk to me. Are you raising up your hand because, okay, for people who understood that, if you understood the concept, okay, awesome. Right, raise up your hand, please. Thank you. Awesome.
I'm okay with it, sir.
Madam Udwak, Solomon, Queen, I've not heard from you. Madam Angela. Okay, oh, great.
Yes, sir. My awesome. person.
You know how we do it now.
Hey, awesome. Yesterday I even slept off, sir.
You see yourself. We'll talk later.
Okay, sir.
So do I ask my question now or at the end of the class?
Hold your question till end of the class.
Okay, sir.
Please, sir, can we see your screen? Please, I'm also putting it in. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute, please. Give me 1 minute, please. All right, I'm back now. Elijah, I see your hands raised. All right. I guess I can continue. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is the and or condition. Logical and or, right? We did this in SQL, in Excel. If you have done Excel, you would have come across and or in Excel, right? So, of course, we know that when you use and, it means that you are checking for two or more conditions, right? You're checking for two or more conditions when you're using and when you are using or as well, you're using two or more conditions. The only difference between you're checking for two or you're testing for two logical tests, right? You're testing for two logical tests when you're using and or. And basically, what does that mean? It means that you want to say that you are trying to run a scenario where you say, award a scholarship to people who meet two conditions. Either you are at least 18 years old and you are from Nigeria, right? So in that situation, it means that the person or the people who would get the scholarship, they have to meet the two conditions. They have to be at least 18 and also be Nigeria, right? Those two conditions has to be true. That is for and, right? And for or, you're saying that it is either you are at least 18 or you are in Nigeria, right? You don't have to meet the two criteria. You only have to meet one of the criteria, right? And that is what we do with logical conditions, right? So we want to look at a business case that says generate a report of those who earn above $5,000 and are in the sales department, right? So we want to know those who what? Those who earn above what? $5,000 and are in the sales department, right? So what does that mean? It means that for this expression, right, we need what? We are checking for two conditions. Who earn above 5,000, that's our first logical test, and are in the sales department, right? Sales department is what's the department now? Sales, I think sales is 6th department. No, 30K. Hold on. All right, so let's check for departments. Sales should be 60. Okay, 80, sorry, 80. Right? So to write this statement, we're going to say select employee ID first underscore name, last underscore name, salary, and job, sorry, and department underscore ID from employees, where salary is equals to, is greater than or equals to 5,000. Okay, sorry, it said N above, so 5,000, greater than 5,000. And so that's the first condition. So to join the second condition to it, we use the and what? We use the and plus. And what? Department underscore ID equals what? 80. Right? If we run this statement, what do you have? Right, you see that we have the result of 34 people in that department who earns above 50,000 and they are in the same department. So you can see that they are all in department 80, right? But all these people earn above what? 5,000. Are you following me? They earn above 5,000. So that is how to use the and condition, right? That's how to use the and condition, right? On the other hand, we have the or condition as well, right? We have the or condition that specifies that either criteria is true, right? So you want to know those who earn above 5,000 or are in department what? So I'm just going to copy this business case. It says generate the report of those who earn. So let's change the criteria so it's who earn above 15,000, right? Or let's change this to who earn above 15,000, or receives a commission, receives commission. I'm going to change department ID, commission underscore PCT, right? And I'm going to say where salary is greater than what? 15,000, or commission PCT is not null. Right? So if you run this now, what do you have? Right. So let us look at it. So this, how many are they? They're 38 in number, right? So we have this person does not receive. So his salary is greater than, can you see? I want you to watch. Let me increase this a little bit so you can see. Right. So we have employee 100, Stephen Kingu, and it's above what? 15,000. Sorry. 15,000 is what I want to use. Saying 5,000. Okay, no. The statement is here. All right. All right. So this person earns above what? 15,000, right? Can you see? But it does not what? It does not earn commission percentage. So you only meet one criteria, right? Which is the salary what? Column, right? Which is the salary condition. Same thing for the next one, 17,000, 17,000, right? But look at these other people. They don't earn up to 15,000. The closest to 15,000 is 14,000. But they came out because why? They earn what? A commission. They earn commission, right? So basically, that is how to use the or what? The or condition. So we've looked at the and we've looked at the or. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any questions? Can I move on? Let me see a show of hands if I can move on. When you wanted to say something?
No.
Okay. Any question? Can I say a
Proceed.
show of hands? Yeah?
Proceed.
I didn't get that.
Like you should move on. Proceed.
Okay, proceed. When you was a coach. All right. All right, I'm waiting for everybody. Right. Give me a show of hands if I'm to proceed or not. All right, so I want to look at using the between clause. Using the between clause. Using the between clause. Right? Now, the between clause helps us between or allows the use of two values in the where clause. The values are minimum and maximum. Right? So the between. So when you're talking about between, it means that you're considering two variables or two values. Right? So we want to check. Let's treat this with a business case. It's easier. Generate a report of those who and now one thing I want you to notice is that everything that I'm doing, right? Of course, this is a class, right? You can write this statement against any of the columns, right? As long as you understand the business case, right? It works right. So it works right away. Just understand business case, right? So generate a so that it doesn't look as if I'm using some specific columns only, right? You can use your IR date, you can use anything for these guys, as long as for these conditions or for these clauses, as long as they fit the business case, or as long as we can use them to answer the business case. All right, but for the classic, it's easier for us to use all of these columns that I'm using, right? So generate the report of those who earn between $7,000 and $15,000, right? We want to know those who earn what between $7,000 and $15,000, right? So what do we say? We say select all from employees where salary between, right? The salary is between 7,000 and 10,000. If we run this statement now, all right, let's go there. Salary 9,000, 12,000. Now let's do what? Let's order it so that we can see. Order by salary descending, right? So let's run that now. All right. So between, right? So in this business case, the maximum value is, the minimum value is 7,000, right? And the maximum value here is 15,000. But if you look at it, the results would not indicate. Can you see you have 7,000, 7,000, right? So you are saying that these are the people who earn what? Between these two bands, right? The 7,000 band and the 15,000 band. So we have people who earn 7,000, right? But there's no one who earns exactly what 15,000, right? So do you understand? So that is basically the result of that, right? That's basically the result of that. I can say, let's generate the report. Generate the report of those who were hired between between 1995 and 1997, right? We want to know those who were hired between the year 1995 and 1997. So we say select all from employees where hired dates between, right, 19. I've told you when you're using the date value, right, it has to be in single or double quotation mark, right? And you use the system format or the system date format is year YYYY MMDD, right? So I'm going to say, I'm going to use the first day of each of these dates, right? So 1st of January 1995, sorry. That's my lower date, right? And my upper date would be 1997-01-01, right? Order by descending, right? So we run that, right? So these are all the people hired between that time. So you see, the first person is 1995-01.
Mr. Sean.
Yes, ma.
I want to ask that those ones that you are changing, because of those of us that we need the scripts, why not helping us to be copy and paste and be editing whatever you want to edit there? Instead of
Oh, did I change it? I thought I copied it. Let me check. Done.
I'm not
Yes,
sure it's like you copied.
I copied it now.
Yes,
This is what I copied. I didn't change it. This is what I copied. Generate a right. This is what I copied, and I'm using it to solve this one. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Right. I copied this one, and I'm using it to so.
Okay, sir.
All right. Where higher dates. Right, higher date is 1995 0101 and 1997 0101, and we are ordering by higher date. Sending. So if we run this now, right, the result is what you have underneath there. Oof. Right, so you see that the closest to 1997 there is 1996, then 01, and the earliest is 1995 0501. So basically, that is how to solve business questions using the between clause. Now, one of them I'm going to copy quickly. And all right, so that is how to answer such business case, right? So you can use between to specify a higher limit or a lower limit. Are you following me? Right. Of course, we've talked about in before. But we'll talk about it again using using the in clause to specify multiple values in the where clause. Right? So I give you an assignment on this. Let me look for it. Let's use that assignment to solve that. Right? So we said the assignment was generate a report of generate a single report. It's generating a single report, the biodata of the following employees, right? So what do we have? We said that biodata. So we're going to say select, right? First name, last underscore name, bio, There's no date of birth. There's no. Okay, let's say email, phone number. And that's all, right? So let's just say for employees, where now remember that we want to combine all of these values in a single report, right? So we say where employee ID in, right? So we use the in clause, right? You can be in small letter, you can be in capital letter, right? But I just prefer my clause. Good. Let's use small letter, right? Right. Where's employee ID in? So you put all of these values in the brackets. Right? Order by employee underscore ID. Now, I told you that what's ascending is what is the default, state of that. So if you look at it, right, these people are what you have specified in that situation, right? We did not put employee ID, so we don't know how it has ordered. So I'm just going to say employee ID. And we run it so that we're sure of the ordering, right? Of course, right? So employee 100, 117, 201, 212, 130, 135, 140, 160, 170, 200, and 201, right? So you can see how we have ordered these values, how we have been able to put these values together, right? And order them. So you can, when you have multiple values that you are very specific about, right? You use the in clause, right? When you have multiple values that are very specific about, right? You use what? You use the in clause to combine those multiple values together. Use the in clause to combine those multiple values together. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, so we are here.
Yeah.
All right. Let us talk about the like clause, right? Using the like clause. Using the like clause. Now, this clause is used for pattern search. And it's used for pattern search, right? We use it to search for patterns, right? Are you following me? The like clause uses two wildcards. I'm going to put them in brackets, the underscore and the percentage. Right? It uses the underscore and percentage as the wildcards. So what do they mean? Underscore, when you see underscore, it means exactly one character. While the percentage means 0 or more character. Right? So the like clause is used for pattern search, right? I need you to pay attention in this one because it's a bit tricky, right? It's a bit tricky. It's easy, but it's a bit tricky. If you don't pay attention, you won't get it, right? So the like clause is used for pattern search, right? You want to search for a particular value, right? And you're not sure of what it is, right? You know that the name of the person has some A inside of it, but you're not sure what the name is. But you know that the name of the person, I think you know the way we used to do it. Say, I think there's A in the name of the person, right? Oh, I think there's an O in the name of the person. I think there's O and E in the name of the person. Right. So you want to be able to use those things that you know about that particular variable to be able to search for that variable or to search for that value. Sorry. Right. So we have so we use like in that situation. So to perform that pattern search, right? And like uses two wildcards, right? It uses two elements, two wildcards. Call them wildcards. Like wildcards, your asterisk. This asterisk here is a wildcard, right? Is a wildcard. This asterisk is a wildcard, right? Underscore and percentage are also wildcard. There are several of them, right? So we want to talk about these two wildcards that we use with the like clause, right? So when you see underscore, what it means is exactly one character. When you see the like clause, you're saying just one character, just one character. When you see percentage, what you're saying is that there is zero or more character, right? Let's look at this. Right? Let's assume that I know the name of the person has O in it. It has O in it, but I know that I'm explaining this business case. You see, I'm not typing it now, right? I'm explaining this business so that you can understand my line of thought, right? Let's say that this person has O in his name, and you know that there's only one character after that O. You know that the person has O in their name, but after that O, there's only one character that came after that O. How do you do that? How do you search for that name, right? So we say select, and you know that it is the person's last name. So say select last name, last name from employees, right? Where last underscore name, like, right? You say percentage O underscore. Sorry, we put that in quotation mark. Percentage O underscore. What does this mean? Right? What does this mean? Percentage O underscore. What it means is that if you go back to percentage means that zero or more characters. So you're saying that you're not sure of how many characters are before O. It can be zero and it can be what? It can be more characters, right? That's what that means. So before O, you are not sure if there are more characters, but you are saying that, okay, let me throw a wide guess that there is either zero character before O or there are even more characters before O. But what you're certain about is that after O, there's just exactly one value or one character after O, right? Let us look at what it brings out. Right, can you see? So you see that everybody that it brought out in the last column, they all have what? They all have more characters before O and just one character after O. Livingston, N after O. Johnson, N after O. Taylor, R after O, right? You can see. Houghton, O, Fox, right? Just one character after O, right? And that is the essence of what? Of wildcards, right? You want to say, let's try and generate one report that, let me see, generate a report of all employees who has SA in their job ID, job description. They have generate a report of employees who have what? Who have SA in their job ID. So what you know about the job ID is that, okay, I'm not sure what it is, but I know that there's SA in it. There's SA in it. So what do you do? So select all from employees where job underscore ID, like, right? So we're not sure if there's any character, but okay, let's assume that we are even sure that it is SA that starts it, right? So we know that SA starts it, right? So we're going to say SA SA underscore. Now, SA underscore. Now, if you look at it also, right? Let me interpret this word so that you understand what I'm saying. Now, if you look at it also, underscore means exactly one character. So if we close it like this, if we close it this way, right? Right? If we close it this way, we are not very accurate about our search, right? So basically what you're saying is that SA, there's one character after A, and after that character, there's 0 or more character after it, right? It will not give us our results, right? Because SA, the job that we're looking for, we know that the job ID on the system usually has underscore, right? SA underscore rep, SA underscore this, IT underscore admin, IAD underscore admin. So underscore is now part of now in this situation now, underscore is part of the things that we're looking for. So how do we bypass that? We put a / to say that it should bypass that. Let me run this first. Let me see. That was in the wrong way. Right, hold on. One minute. Okay, let's do this. SA underscore. All right, good. Right. So if you look at it, what I have now is that I'm saying that SA underscore 0 or more characters after SA. Look at the job ID. Can you see? I said what? Generate a report of all employees who has SA in their job description. Look at it. All of them have SA manager, then SA rep, and so on and so forth, right? So that is how to what? That is how to generate or use the pattern search to search for values, right? If you are sure so you want to be able to know what exactly you're looking for or know the pattern around what you're looking for, right? So that you can use that pattern, use the underscore and percentage to be able to generate values or generate what you're looking for. It's as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that. Let me know. I know that this is a bit tricky. Let me know if you understood that before I move on. If you understood that concept, please raise up your hands before we move on. We have just one more thing to talk about today. Then we put it to rest. I think we've tried this day. Right. Next class, we'll wrap up SQL. Right. We'll talk about joining. We'll talk about exists. We'll talk about join subqueries next class. Hey, subquery. Okay, we'll talk about subquery next class. Talk about joining, talk about set operators, and possibly Windows functions. So we have just 4 things majorly left to talk about in SQL. Then we'll do a wrap up on every other part of it. So hopefully 1 weekend. Let me just put it as 1 weekend, right? 1 weekend and we'll be done with SQL. 1 weekend. Don't let me say 1 class. 1 weekend we'll be done with SQL. Right. So next weekend also we'll start installing Power BI for our class. Right. So if you understood the concept of like, let me know. Let me say a show of hand. If you understood the concept of like, let me say a show of hand. Oh, great. Madam Uduak, Alaja, Biola, Iceman, Ebube, Moyo, Madam Angela, Solomon, Queen. Queen, you're not raising your hand.
I can't find the raising of hand again. It has disappeared from my system.
Anyway, but you understood it, right?
Small.
Oh,
When I go over
don't worry,
it,
you
I
have to
will.
I trust. I trust. Where is Ebuka? Okay, Ebuka. Okay, awesome. Ebube. Solomon.
Sir?
All right. Do you understand the concept? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, but not completely. The underscore.
Put you. What is it?
It's the underscore part that I'm still trying to get.
Underscore means 0 or more. I mean, exactly one character. That's what underscore means. Exactly one character. Exactly one character. Just one character.
It must be one character at the end.
So,
The one
so
character is at the end of what you're writing.
For the
or
light,
before what you're
okay.
writing. I said the one character, is it before the essay or after the essay?
No, I didn't
The
use.
example
I didn't
you
use
gave.
underscore.
And
I didn't
you
use
wanted to use it
underscore
before.
4. Yes. So
And
if I was going to use that before, now the reason why I didn't use it, because if you look at the sales, look at the sales that you have, look at the job ID. Underscore is part of it, right? So in this situation now, we have to be able to escape this underscore to be able to be part of the search, right? But there's no need to stress it if I can use percentage to push out every other value that I need, right? So I just use percentage to push out every other criteria that is from underscore to MAN. But anytime you say, let's say that I have, let's copy this. Let's say that I have, I know that the person's name is, I'm not sure if the person's name is Karen or Karen, right? Look at it. I say the person's name is, I'm not sure if it is Karen or Karex, right? So I say, okay, I know it is Karen something, right? So I say underscore, right? If you run this now, it will only give us what? One single value. Oh, there are even 2 of them. Can you see? But it is very this is very, very precise because I know that it is just one value that is after the E in their name.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right? There are some situations where you know that, okay, you're not sure if it is Karex or Kerex or Karen or Karen, right? So in that situation, you can say, okay, you know that you're not sure, but you know that it is just one character, or it is even 2 characters that came after E, right? 2 characters that came after E, right? So you can write your pattern to fit whatever you are looking for. Can you see?
Okay.
Can you see? So in this situation now, I know that the person's name is just K and it has E, but it has 2 letters between K and E, right? So I just use double underscore, right? And I use the last underscore to push out the last value, right? I can even say I know that it finished with N, but I'm not sure of what is inside between K and N. So you just write it based on what you're looking for.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? Any other question? Any other question? All right. So I think we have put together a beautiful class today. Let me see. Bra, 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 bra. All right. I think we've put up a beautiful class today. Let me see. See this. Okay. let's see if we can talk about aggregate functions, and we'll put it in the top there. Aggregate functions. All right, let's talk about aggregate functions. Right, aggregate functions basically are functions that return a single result that takes multiple rows and returns a single result. Right, these functions are statistical. Want to learn how to perform statistics on Excel. I mean, in SQL, right? Right. These functions are statistical functions used to summarize data. They take multiple rows as their input and return a single row as output. Right? So examples. So these functions are, you have your sum function, your average, minimum, maximum, count, standard deviation. Which one is there again? Right, let's talk about this 5. Right, so you have sum, you have average, you have minimum, you have maximum, you have counts, right? So you have counts. So basically, of course, we're familiar with these functions, right? These functions basically are aggregate functions. So we said that these functions take multiple rows and return a single result as their output, right? So let's look at the statement, right? Let's look at the business case. Generate the total value of salary in the sales department, right? Generates the total value of salary in the sales department. That is, what does that mean? Total means everything, add up the salary of everyone in the sales department. That's what this statement means. So we say select sum. What column are we adding together now? Sum salary. So to perform an addition on the salary, right? We use what? We use the sum function. So from employees, where department underscore ID equals 80, right? Since that's the sales department. So if we run this statement now, it will give us what? It will give us one single result. Can you see? So it's saying that in the sales department, their total salary is what? 304,500. Right? The question is how many people are in the sale okay. How many people are in the what? In the sales department. So we can say select how many staffs do we have in the sales department, right? So we say select, I've taught us this before, select count all from right? Count off from employees where department ID equals sales. So how many are they? 34, right? So these 34 people, right, in the sales department, their total salary is what now? Is 304,500. 304,500, right? So you can see that they are what? That is this query here, this sum here is done on what? 24 different what? Rows. It took 34 different rows and returned one single row. Same here, took 34 different rows and returned a single row, right? We want to know what is the average salary in that department, right? What is the average salary? Okay, let's expand this. What is the average salary in the company? Right? So we say select average is the function for that, AVG. Yeah, can you see? Average. We're applying that to what? To the salary column. From what? From employees, right? So we're not using a where clause in this situation now. Just terminate. The average salary of all the employees. Sorry, my from clause is not there. From employees. Right? So the average salary is what? Is 6,461, right? Let me round it up, right? Okay, let me teach us how to round up values. Right? So this value now has what? It has how many places? It has 6 decimal places. So I'm going to round that value of 2, can you see, round average. I'm going to round that value to 2 decimal places. Round to 2 decimal places. Right? So if we round that off, can you see? So we have 6,461.62, right? Let's give that an alias and call it what? Average all right, average salary. Can you see? So that is how to what? So that is how to do all of that, right? You want to know what is the what in business cases now. I hope we're not too tired. I hope people are still with me. Let me see. Okay. Right. We're wrapping up very soon. Just give me like 5-10 minutes and we're done. What is the minimum? Let's see if there's a way to get the minimum name, minimum for the lowest. I'm just trying this now. All right. Lowest first name. And the highest first name in the company. Right, this is me playing around now. Select minimum. Can you see? Minimum, maximum. You're going to put first name. Right, let's see. And you see the minimum first name, it took what? The A is the value there. So the person with what? The minimum first name is Adam, which is A. So if you arrange data in ascending, the first name column in ascending order, Adam will be the first name and Winston what will be the last name. Are you following? Right? So you can say also what is the minimum salary, the minimum hire date, the maximum hire date, and so on and so forth, right? So you can, we'll talk about all of, I'll give you assignment on some of these things, right? Give assignment on some of these things. So basically, we have learned how to use all of these aggregate functions, right? All of these aggregate functions today. We've learned how to use all of these aggregate functions today. So please expect a comprehensive assignment, right? Expect a comprehensive assignment, especially now that we have holiday on Monday. I hope I can put the assignment together tomorrow so that we can push it tomorrow. Then you can start working on them. The classes are recorded. Please find time to watch the videos to get better clarity, right? The truth is you cannot learn everything in class, right? But when you go back to the videos, right, you are helping yourself get it better, right? So any question so that we can put it to a close today. This is 9:16. And we started pretty early today. We didn't take time on questions and answers. So kudos to everyone. Well, that's why we're able to cover a lot. We've looked at how many functions now. We've looked at about 10 different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. We've looked at almost 20 something stuff put together today, right? Almost 20 something clauses, functions, and all that put together. So it's a really, really interesting class today. Thank you. If you have questions, please, if you understand everything, right, or you're good, right, please raise up your hand. If you have questions, please unmute yourself and ask a question.
So I have a question.
Okay.
The first one is the difference between the count function and distinct clause.
Okay. The count is to count the number. Hold on, let me answer them one after the other like that. The count is to count the number of rows.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yes. Count will count. It's the same count in Excel. It counts the number of cells, right, for you. Right, counts the number of rows for you. Distinct is to isolate the unique values and give you them as results. So if you have, take for example, distinct will be that if we have 2 Ebube in this class, right, and I say return distinct name, it will only return 1 Ebube, even though we have 2 Ebube. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What's the second question?
Then in the arrangement, there was a place you were doing ascending and descending order.
Yes.
Which the columns it returned, which particular one does it follow? Because the employee ID was scattered, but the this thing was the one for ascending and descending were arranged. So which particular order does it follow?
We specified the columns that we used in that order by, right? We specified, yes. There's one more thing that I did not remember. I just remembered it now. We'll talk about it next class. Group by. I just remembered group by now. Talk about it next class. Yeah, look at it here, right? If you look at this, let's run this again. Right? We're not paying attention to the employee ID because we are paying attention to 2 columns here. The department ID that is ordered in ascending order, right? And as you can see that it's in ascending order. But in each of the departments, right? This job ID descending is not affecting all the what's it called? It's not affecting all the job ID. It's affecting the job ID in each department. So this one, it will take for each department and do them in what? Descending order, right? That's what I was showing you from here. Look at it now, right? Look at department 30, right? This is their manager, right? So this is department 30. Look at their manager. Their manager is purchasing manager. Then every other clerk came afterward because that's descending, right? If you look at stock manager, the same thing. Stock manager, same thing. Stock manager, then stock clerks. Can you see? All the stock clerks are there, right? So it's the same thing. So these would be done on each segment of this one. Makes sense now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Any other question? Any other question? if you understood what we did today, please just give me a show of hands. Give me a show of hands. Give me a show of hands. Awesome, 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 awesome. Biola, I hope we're not sleeping.
Samaweko. We are here.
Moyo.
You.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So please let's call it a day so that we can all go and rest. There's church tomorrow for those going to church. So we'll meet next class, which is on Friday. Right. But please expect your assignment. If you have not submitted your assignment, please submit your assignment. I'll be back on WhatsApp this week. Yay, that's good news, right? I'll be back on WhatsApp this week. Right. So so please submit your assignment. Submit your assignment. Thank you for the clap. Right.
Thank you, sir.
I think my break is done. Right. My break is done. So I'm considering coming back on WhatsApp. Right. So so please submit your assignment. If you don't submit the assignment, I will not give you certificates. I've said it again. Right. So please submit your assignment. Put all of your assignments together, especially the last assignment for those who need to do corrections on the assignments. Of course, I've not given replies to some of the people who submitted, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, right? But please do your assignment, right? You are creating you're interpreting another, I showed you last class, you're interpreting another ER diagram this weekend, right? So expect that. And of course, we're going to put up these things that I've taught here today. We're going to put it into consideration in the assignment. So it's going to be a lot heavier than what we used to have. But remember, the goal is to make you excellent. The goal is to make you understand it. The goal is to get you ready such that I remember that my goal basically is that once you are done on, let's assume that we finish this class Saturday night next week, and you get a job on Monday, you are able to perform. And already you can see what you can do already, right? A whole lot of you are writing really awesome SQL statement and answering business cases like a pro, which I'm really glad about, right? So please do participate in those exercises for better understanding. Of course, our admin will be reaching out to you this week for feedbacks, for whatever other information they have for you this week. Thank you so much for coming to class. Thank you for trusting me to teach you this. Right? God bless you. Do have a wonderful night. Let me show you my face. Today I did not do too much of camera. Right? I wanted to be serious. So thank you for coming. Yeah, I heard. Right. Thank you for coming. Do have a wonderful night, everyone.
You are doing well. My personal person.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Please don't mind us who not doing so very well. We would buckle up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Do have a wonderful night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice, sir.